How's it going, everybody? My name is LuckyBunz. In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything you need to know for Beldum Community Day Classic. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, this event is going to be taking place on August 18th from 2 to 5 p.m. local time. The bonuses are going to be as follows. We're going to get 3-hour lure modules and incense like normal. The special bonus is going to be 1/4 incubator distance. Now, because this event is going to be taking place at the same time as the World Championship event, we're also going to get the bonus of 5 special trades. Now, under normal circumstances, this would be limited to 2 special trades for the seasonal bonus, and without the seasonal bonus, it would only be 1 special trade because it's a Calm Day Classic. So 5 special trades for a Calm Day Classic, especially Beldum Calm Day Classic, this is a super awesome bonus. Now, following that, we're also going to be getting 5 free Beldum from snapshots, and the shiny rate is going to be boosted at 1 out of 25 like normal Calm Days. Next up, let's talk about Pokestop showcases. So I would highly recommend saving your double XL Beldum for showcases during this event. It'll be pretty competitive, especially considering how popular Beldum Calm Day is going to be, but you can get premium items for actually getting 1st or 2nd place, especially if you win multiple showcases. So definitely try to grind this one out as much as you can. Like, the more Beldum you run into, the more chances you have of getting a really good double XL. Next up, let's talk about the field research. So you can get more encounters with Beldum by doing event-themed field research quests throughout the day. This is going to be a great way to get a hundo or potentially even a shundo, as the floor IVs are going to be 10-10-10. The hundo CP from research is going to be 418 CP. Next up, let's take a look at the special research ticket for $1. So you do usually get enough items back to make it worth the $1, and you could also give these to your friends if you kind of want them to play with you during the event. It's pretty cheap, all things considered, and it could make a casual player's experience a lot better. I'm not sponsored or anything though, this is just from my own experience when I go out to play and I've actually been gifted these tickets. It is kind of nice, and you do get an encounter with the final stage evolution, I believe on page 3 out of 4, so in this case that'd be Metagross. Now, following that, let's go over the special event boxes. The first one is going to be 1350 Pokecoins. You're going to be getting 50 Ultra Balls, 5 Super Incubators, 5 Lucky Eggs, and an Elite Charge TM. The second box is going to cost 480 Pokecoins, and this one is going to give you 30 Ultra Balls, 1 Incense, 1 Lure Module, and 3 Super Incubators. Now, if you are thinking about getting that 1350 event box for the Elite Charge TM, I would highly recommend going through the web store instead. There's going to be an Ultra Calm Day box that'll give you the Elite Charge TM plus a special research ticket for only $5. Now, you can also get free Elite TMs from GBL every season, so if you don't want to spend money, that would be your next best option. Next up, let's talk about the exclusive moveset Meteor Mash. So you're going to have between 2 to 7 p.m. to evolve to get your Beldum with this moveset. I cannot stress this enough, make sure to evolve your Beldum early. I've been getting far too many comments about people not doing this on time during Calm Day Classics, so don't forget to set an alarm if it actually helps you. Like, during normal Calm Days, we get until 10 p.m., but during Calm Day Classics, the window ends at 7 p.m. With that being said though, let's take a closer look at how good Metagross actually is in PvP and then raid battles. So when it comes down to PvP, the only relevant league for Metagross is going to be in the Master League. So you don't need to worry about getting PvP IV spreads during this event because it's ranked pretty bad in the Great League and Ultra League formats. The only one that you really want to focus on is getting the hundo for the Master League, or potentially like a 98% IV with 15 attack. That would be pretty good as well. I do tend to notice that a lot of you guys seem to care less about the PvP aspect of most of these Pokemon, so the good news here is that Metagross is a very meta-relevant raid Pokemon. Like, it is literally the MVP of Steel-type attackers for raids in-game. The only 2 Pokemon that are actually better than Metagross would be its own Shadow variant and Duskmane Necrozma. The latter is one of the rarest and most difficult Pokemon to obtain in the game, so most players probably only have 1, maybe 2. Now, Shadow Beldum hasn't been featured in Rocket Grunts for a while either, but Shadow Metang is actually available right now. This is a potential Pokemon to get from the Steel-type Grunt, but it's a really rare encounter, and the odds of getting good IVs on top of that are pretty slim. Therefore, regular Metagross is an extremely good Pokemon to farm if you don't already have 6 Steel-type attackers built, and honestly, like, everything compared to Metagross is pretty bad. Like, there's a significant difference there. So if you're just coming back to the game, focus on catching and evolving high-level Beldum. If you have the weather boost, you can catch and evolve up to level 35 Beldum in the wild. This basically means you'll be able to avoid spending too much Stardust building a Steel-type attacker team, and honestly, like, having Metagross regardless of the IVs at level 35, like 6 of those, that is going to be pretty much all that you need for a while. Like, at that point, you can just start grinding the Shadow Metagross when that eventually comes into rotation, and trying to get your hands on more Duskmane Necrozma if possible. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is quite difficult to obtain Shadow Metang from Rocket Grunts, but for those of you who do have some Shadow Beldum or even Metang sitting on the sidelines right now with frustration removed, then you will want to evolve them during this event, regardless of the IVs. You can decide later if you want to power them up or continue to wait, but do not miss this amazing opportunity to actually evolve them into Metagross. Shadow Metagross is still the 2nd best Steel-type attacker in the game behind Duskmane Necrozma. Now, I know some of you guys are probably wondering, well, what about Mega Metagross? How will this Pokemon hold up once it's actually released? In terms of meta relevance, this Pokemon won't be as good as Duskmane Necrozma, not even close actually. It's about 5 points off on the ER scale, which is quite a significant difference. The good news though is that this does not actually factor in the 30% attack boost it's going to be giving to Steel-type Pokemon when on the field in raid battles. So ideally, you would want to have a Mega Metagross plus 5 Duskmane Necrozma as the ultimate Steel-type team. There's definitely still a place for this Pokemon in the the meta, so don't let people tell you otherwise that this isn't as good anymore. Mega Metagross will definitely be an extremely awesome Pokemon to add to your team once it has been released. To be honest as well, for the raid team, you could also mix it up like Mega Metagross and like a few Duskmane Necrozma and a few Shadow Metagross. That'd be pretty good. So in conclusion, while Metagross doesn't have much relevance in PvP in the lower leagues, it's still a great investment for the Master League and the raid/gym meta. This Comp Day Classic has been one of the most requested events from the player base, and it's crazy to think that we ended up getting it randomly. Like, this event wasn't even announced at the beginning of the season in game. The 1/4 incubator distance bonus is kind of weak, and it does suck that we're going to be missing a lot of the normal bonuses during typical Comp days, but still, the opportunity to farm Beldum for extra large candy and potentially the hundo is awesome. Now with all that being covered, let's go through some additional tips and tricks to help you guys get ready for this event. So first up, let's go over the fast catch trick. Most of you probably already know how to do this, but for newer players, I highly recommend learning this to increase your catching speed. If you ever wonder how like some players catch so many Pokemon during these 3-hour events, this is how they're doing it. The next tip is going to be to create a search tag for all the Beldum you want to evolve. You can quickly check for good IVs by typing in 3-star, and you can quickly check for hundos by typing in 4-star. Once again, for Metagross, you don't really want to focus on Great League and Ultra League IVs, so don't worry about PvP IVs during this event. Next up, let's go over the Mega Evolution you want to have active during this event. So Beldum is going to be a Steel and Psychic type Pokemon. So your options are Steelix, Scizor, Aggron, Lucario, Alakazam, Slowbro, Gardevoir, Medicham, Latios, Latias, and Rayquaza. Whichever one of these you have at Mega Level 3, prioritize that one over the others for increased candy and extra large candy. Following that, let's go over storage and backspace management. So generally for storage, I recommend having a minimum of 100 open spots and ideally 250 plus. If you guys are still having trouble getting down to this number though, then I do recommend checking out my updated storage management guide. A lot of people have been finding that helpful. Now when it comes down to backspace, I recommend having a minimum of 200 red, great, and ultra balls and ideally 500 plus going into this event. I also recommend having at least 50 plus Pinot Berries. Since this is going to be a Comp Day Classic, we won't actually benefit from the 2x candy bonus during a normal Comp Day. Basically what this means is that if you want to secure more Metagross evolutions, you're going to need to come prepared with Pinot Berries on hand, especially if you don't have that much time to play during this event. Now if you do need more items, one of the best ways to actually get them is by opening gifts from friends if you can't go out and spin Pokestops. And if you don't have that many friends on your friends list, then I would recommend going to the Pokemon Go Friends subreddit page. That place is an excellent resource for adding friend codes. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be the Shadow Legendary raids. So considering how many people are going to be out, this is going to be a great time to get a group together and do some Shadow Suicune raids after 5 p.m. once the event ends. Unlike normal Comp days, the second stage form will not be appearing in raids after the event ends, so make sure to take advantage of whoever is around you. Now for those unfamiliar where to actually play during these events, I highly recommend going to Pokestop dense areas and or cluster spawns, so parking lots, grocery stores, superstores like Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, and then college campuses are also pretty good as well. Now if you do want to take advantage of the hatch bonus during this event, I recommend incubating your highest distance eggs once this event starts. So for example, I like to incubate my 10 or 12 kilometer eggs, but I typically don't incubate my 2 or 5 kilometer eggs unless I'm using the infinite incubator. If you are trying to get this metal platinum, then you could do all of your eggs, but I don't really recommend it since incubators can be expensive and the rewards usually aren't worth it from certain eggs. Like, my favorite eggs right now are probably 12 kilometer eggs. Next up, let's talk about using Spatial Rend if you guys do have it on your Palkia Origin form. So during this Comp Day, honestly, if you have the resources, I do think Spatial Rend would be amazing. More spawns basically means more chances at shinies. More chances at shinies basically means more potential chances at a shundo. You're also going to be spending 5,000 Stardust and 5 candy every 10 minutes to keep it active, so you know, it is kind of expensive on the resource side, but it could definitely be worth it for some of you. Once again, the extra spawns make a big difference in just getting more shinies, and then honestly, even if you don't get good IVs on those shinies, you can lucky trade them with somebody else for a potential chance at a shundo, which is 1 out of 64, so pretty good odds. Next up, let's go over the Pokemon Ranger medal. So the tasks during Comp days are fairly easy to complete, but it's also really easy to forget about them. Make sure you clear your research before starting the event first of all, and then I would check them about every 5 to 10 minutes if you're going to be around a lot of Pokestops. You can also run away from the Pokemon encounters and stack them up to 100, so that's pretty cool as well. Although during this event, yeah, I probably would not redeem them. I would save them for a later date, maybe like triple experience or triple Stardust. Finally, the last tip I'm going to go over is going to be regarding the Picnicker medal for lure modules. So basically you just want to drop lure modules at your most popular grind spot right when the event starts. Basically the way that this works is that you get 1 point every single time somebody else catches a Pokemon off your lure module. In the right location, you can make some great progress, especially since your lure module is going to be lasting 3 hours long during this event. With that being said, that pretty much covers everything I have for you guys in this video though. If you guys do want to check out some more content, I'm going to recommend these 2 videos right here. But before you go, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon in the next one.